up, Nintendo gamers? I'm back. Just doing a quick video. Actually, this is not going to be a quick video at all. I'm going to warn you in advance, this is going to be a long video. I got to catch up on a lot of Nintendo news. A lot of stuff's happened since I made my last video. My last video was about Pokemon X and Y. So much has happened since then. I probably won't even keep up, but I want to start with one. Luigi's Mansion 2 now has multiplayer, not just local, online multiplayer, plus local, plus, plus the download play, so you only need one game to do two-player. Oh my god, this game was already, like, a really good buy, and, you know, I'm not, like, a huge Luigi's Mansion fan, but I probably would have gotten it without the multiplayer. But now that they've added it, it's like, oh my god, this is like one of the biggest 3DS games of the year now. And so I'm super pumped about it. I'm just like, if this is why they've had so many delays for Luigi's Mansion, thank you. Thank you for delaying it so many times. It was a little annoying, but if this is the result of those delays, I'm super happy. So, thank you for that, Nintendo. What else is next? The Nintendo Direct conference was huge. Obviously, a lot of people talked about this already, but I'll talk about the what's it called, Monolith Soft's their game called X or whatever it's called, which is basically the next Xenoblade game. Looks amazing. I mean, like, as far as those graphically speaking, that is the best looking game ever made by Nintendo, period, which is, I mean, it's not directly Nintendo, but point is, that probably beats out a lot of Xbox games. Just the scope, and, well, because think about, like, the scope, plus the details, plus the size, and, like, you could see, like, the water effects at the beginning of the trailer, it looked phenomenal graphically, and the scale, unfortunately, as much as I praise it, JRPGs aren't really my thing. I never played Xenoblade. I never played The Last Story. I considered playing The Last Story because it was a little more Americanized. But Xenoblade looks beyond my mental capacity. Yeah, it's just, I mean, I might get it. I might get this new one because it looks so good. But, yeah, so that was a huge game that was announced. Unfortunately, there's no title for that one. But the best news that I'm going to talk about is Zelda. Zelda. As in, duh, you should be buying this game. Because, seriously, they know that, what am I saying? We all knew that the next Zelda is in development, but they're changing the way that the game functions. So, what this means is, they said single player might get, maybe not thrown out the window, but you don't have to play the game alone now, which is interesting. And I've actually, I've had an idea for how they can do co-op, so I'll briefly summarize that right now. So in Skyward Sword, there was a guy named, like, I forget his name, but he was like, same exact thing as Link, and he was like the best student in their class, whatever, and he was in yellow. I really wish I could remember his name, but basically he was like a little less adventurous version of Link. So what I'm saying is that these two characters, Link and what's-his-face, can go off, and that could be a co-op adventure. And then, you know, it can be like drop in, drop out, so the second player could take control of the yellow guy, and yeah, that'd be great. And then, you know, during the single player, he could still be a contributing character. It'd be really fun having co-op in Zelda, I think, as long as the co-op isn't like the main thing, you know, if it's not like, if the single player experience isn't affected by it, then I think that'd be great. Okay, so yeah, they said you don't have to play it alone. They also said they're gonna change the formula up, so you can have like dungeons out of order. Now I don't see how they can do that, considering that the whole thing about Zelda is that you get this thing from this dungeon so that you can unlock this dungeon. They could maybe like have the dungeons be like kind of the way they did it for Skyward Sword, where it's like you kind of like, if they got to a point where we had access to all the areas, or at least all different types of areas, but like once you got something from this area, this other area got a lot bigger, So maybe they could do the same thing for dungeons in the other ones. And I know I'm talking really fast because I got a lot to cover. Whew! Okay, so Zelda HD is a little more in the future, but what I do want to talk about is Wind Waker, the HD remake. This is a fantastic idea. I have a confession to make. I have never played Wind Waker. I never got into Zelda until Twilight Princess, actually. Which sounds weird, because now I'm a huge Zelda fan. And I hadn't, before Twilight Princess, I had barely played Ocarina. I don't even know if I've ever seen Majora's Mask. But I know it's got like a moon and a bunch of masks. Anyways, yeah, and Wind Waker is kind of like my next adventure after Ocarina of Time. I'm still working on the 3D version. That's how I'm playing Ocarina. What was I gonna say? So I think it's great that they're offering this HD remake. My God, those screenshots look amazing. I thought that they were concept arts, and so many other people did too. But the concept art was actually gameplay screenshots. Oh my God. And so yeah, that just blew me away. And the cell shading looks great. It's kind of like, yeah, it's a different kind. Granted, they should have remade a better look, like not a better looking one, but like maybe a different art style. But it's good that they're giving us some kind of Zelda thing to hold us off. Which you got to think, they've been working on this game for a long. I gotta go. Sorry guys, as you can tell, it's a whole lot later. I got interrupted. But I'm going to continue where I left off. So I was talking about HD Zelda. I'm kind of done talking about that. So what I do want to talk about is the games that Nintendo is going to have at E3 this year. Basically, before this Nintendo Direct conference, everybody was saying, oh, well, Nintendo's going to get swept under the rug because Sony's going to have the PlayStation 4 and Microsoft's probably going to have the 720 or whatever you're going to call it. Those next-gen systems would easily overcome, anything Nintendo could possibly have. That's probably still true that Microsoft and Sony are still going to probably have more interesting E3s. Nintendo is bringing in some serious firepower. They said they're going to bring in Mario Galaxy, or next 3D HD Mario. That's going to be a playable demo at E3. They're going to have the playable demo of the next Mario Kart at E3. And they're going to have the first screenshots of Smash Bros. 4. Oh, my heart gets racing when I think about Smash Bros. 4. It's going to be amazing. Especially since Namco is helping them develop. It's going to be huge. I can't even imagine the scale of an HD Smash Bros. And the fact that they're going to have it on the 3DS just makes it all the better. So that's pretty much it, you guys. I kind of lost my train of thought because of this huge interruption. I'm sorry if there's anything I missed. Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget that we're going to have an awesome E3 this year. It may not be the best, but it will be a damn good one at that. Think about all these incredible games we're getting this year, and it just blows my mind. And for those Monster Hunter fans out there, we are going to get a demo of Monster Hunter Ultimate for the Wii U and 3DS in 17 days. So I'm counting down the days. I can't wait to play that game. There actually is one thing I forgot to mention, you guys. IGN posted an article today about Iwata talking about random stuff, but he said that there are unannounced games, which probably means they're going to be announced at E3. Unannounced games that could, he didn't confirm that they are, but they could come out this year. And there's no guarantees on what kind of games those are, or how big they are. But I mean, Nintendo's bringing it hard. And then we still have Retro Studios game that hasn't been announced yet, which, they're probably holding that back so that they can throw that punch at E3. I mean, if Microsoft doesn't reveal their next console, they're screwed. Especially with this
Sony is announcing their console in like how many days? 16 days. It's gonna be an interesting E3, you guys. I hope you guys are watching. E3 is like 6 months from now. No, sorry, more like 4 or 5. I feel so far away. I just, ugh. I want school to be over. Okay, never mind. I won't trouble you with my problems. Game on, guys.